everyone. Welcome to another clarity video. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to talk a little bit about, I guess you call it timeline hopping, going from old dimensions to new, letting all the old stuff collapse as you step into new. I've been doing a lot of new things lately, personally, including a lot of private sessions. And so I'm really happy to be back here making a video. My time has been kind of elsewhere, but one thing that I've noticed, and this has been a topic that's come up with a lot of people, as I'm working with individuals, it's like I'm connecting with them from their light realms, their creator consciousness, their higher selves or whatever. And it's like we go walking through these dimensions that are still kind of hanging around in their life, old dimensions with old energy locked into place. And so we are going through and just as pure awareness, really collapsing it from the inside out. And those energies can feel super, super intense and sticky and hard. And it can be, I know from personal experience, very hard to leave behind the old energy, the old patterns, the old life, and step into these new beginnings that are like undefined and feel so foreign. And sometimes it's like hard to stick to it, hard to kind of get out of those old ruts. And so I wanted to create a video today to kind of assist with that. All right. So this is mainly going to be about, we'll say, when you're at the point of you've been clearing, you've been in your awareness, you've been, you're in awareness, you've been breathing and feeling, you've been addressing the emotions, you're at that point where you've looked at the old and you know that you're ready to start something new. Okay. We'll back up a couple steps. First of all, it is important to address and deal with old energies. And the old energies, I'm going to call emotions, because all the heavy, dense energies here are created by judgment, and they create emotions. Energies stuck in motion. As soon as you judge something, you stick it in your body. And we've been doing it from the time we were born or in the womb. And it's also related to past lives. So these old dimensions, it's where old stuck energies are, where there's old emotions. Okay. So as we clear those emotions, that stuff collapses and we can expand into new things. So first of all, you want to make sure you're never creating new emotions. You are pure light, pure radiance, pure benevolence, isness, and passion, which is excitement and things like that. When I'm talking about emotion, it's a polarized thing. So if you're judging anything, good, bad, right, wrong, better, worse, this person should, that person should, if you're trying to control anything, control yourself or the outside world, it's all judgment. So take yourself off the hook and don't create any new emotions. So come into that space of isness, of neutrality, of your pure creator benevolence, of acceptance of everything. And then you just make choices from there without judging anything. So that's kind of like the prerequisite, we'll say, or it's highly encouraged that you don't create more old gunk to have to try to move out of. So you're not creating any emotions, you're not creating any heavy energy, because you're not saying, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, and judging yourself, very important, or the world. And then the ones you've created, because we've all got, lots of that old stuff stored, and it can take years and years and years and years and years and years to clear from your physical body, even when you're not creating new stuff. So if you're in that phase, just honor that it just takes a while. If you're not judging stuff and you're in your awareness and your presence and your breath, you're present and you're not off in your mind all the time. If you're off in your mind a bit, that's fine too. But the more we're totally fully present in our body, the more that stuff is just spiraling out as more of you is merging in, like with every breath, literally. So I've addressed a lot of that on past videos. So let's now move into where you have looked at the old stuff. You've faced it. You are in a space, we'll say, where on a day-to-day basis, like I wake up and go, okay, how am I feeling? You might take stock with a journal. You might just feel your presence, feel your isness for a while, and just be in that pure awareness. If there's any old stories, old aspects hanging around, even aware of the energies maybe in the world with people around you or the planet, that's kind of our, you know, our awareness, right? Just being fully aware all the time of what's going on. Now, a lot of times when we're in this place, if you have been especially gone through any big clearings, but there's always things as we're expanding that come up to leave. They come even from the cellular structures of our body as we expand, even merge more deeply into our bodies. So, as you're feeling these things, it's like we get to a point where we're maybe you resonate with this, where you're like, this again, oh my God, I've seen this a million times or whatever, same stories, same types of things. And of course, as we stay in our awareness and simply watch and ask to be shown, show me what this is. Sometimes I'll just say, show me, I'll open up a door and say, where'd this even come from? And then I'll see it. But as you're in your awareness, you're going to see bigger picture, the more you're expanding of old situations. It just is what it is. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do anything about it. So last summer, I wrote a blog that was catching your balance on the road to embodiment or something. And it's because I had a huge amount of, I guess you could call it clearing. It was a lot of these emotional age childhood energies, if you will, these children, these things from the womb. I saw a lot of stuff, a lot of decisions that we make as children that we don't even know we're making it, and we forget about. But that was a very intense clearing time where you're watching all this stuff and as it's all swirling out, basically, or dissolving away, things can feel cloudy and muddy and kind of mucky. And it's like, wow, how did I feel so clear like a week ago or whatever? And then there comes a point where what I wrote about was, do I sit here and keep working on this, or do I move forward? Like, am I ignoring it if I move forward? I don't want to be in denial or numbing, or, I used to be big on numbing and avoiding all emotions, suppress it. So I was like, I want to make sure I'm not going back into that old habit. So what you can do here is really just do that self-check. Have I looked at this? Have I been willing to look at everything? Is there anything, and you can even ask, show me if there's anything that I am suppressing, if there's anything that, that I'm not willing to look at. Show me now. Like, I'm willing to look at everything. When you're at that point, it's like, it just makes more sense to start moving forward. And that was kind of like the thing that I wrote about, because what happens is, it's like you've addressed all this stuff, you've looked at it, but the energy doesn't just leave like that, okay? It takes a while to dissolve away. And it's like these old dimensions, they're slowly dissolving away in your awareness, as you're in your presence and your awareness. And there's a time frame where it's like you haven't fully stepped into the new, but this old stuff is still in your awareness. So you're feeling it. And some of it can feel really heavy and really dense and really icky. And it's fine if you need time to breathe and let it dissolve and just have very simple, quiet things. Maybe you spend more time at home or out in nature or whatever while that happens. But there's a point where it's time to take that action. So what happens when you're feeling all this old gunk? So, and it's been pretty heavy in the world. There's been a lot of stuff playing out in the mass consciousness and leaving the planet. And when you're way expanded, you feel like through, you feel things for a long ways through the planet and through the mass consciousness. So the more expansive you get, the more this can, this just continues to be a pattern or a cycle that we go through over and over and over again as we keep expanding. So it's good to kind of get really masterful with quantum leaping through these things. So one thing we can do is you're aware of this old energy. You feel it. You can sense it. Okay. Maybe, like I said, in the mornings, you take a little, which way is the wind blowing? How do I feel today? And you feel in, and you just take an assessment, not like you need to label it or categorize it, but you feel into it. You're looking right at it. You're willing to feel it. You're looking at it. There it is. All right. Now you can feel your essence, your presence, your lightness, how you really feel, because the real you feels absolutely brilliant, weightless, light, boundless. The more you flex this muscle, it's like consciousness. Okay, so where you put your consciousness, things grow. So without consciousness, there's no life. So you're aware of this stuff, this old stuff. You've dealt with it. You're done with it. Let's just put it over here now and let it continue to dissolve. You don't really want to be putting more energy into it. Okay? Let's not feed the dragon. So from there, feel your presence, feel your essence, feel, and however you feel that, you feel it. I have some videos on this. It's just tuning in to what's me. It's the old meditation. Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? Which I did for years when I was waking up, like just sitting home asking, damn it, show me. Well, you start to feel into this. It's really about sensing and feeling that your presence, your essence, and the best way I can describe it is almost like nothingness. Like when I'm really feeling clear, I almost feel like I don't have a body at all. And there is no form. I'm pure light. I'm pure consciousness. But how do we get to feeling more and more of that? Well, it starts by feeling in your body. You can feel in your hands, your heart, your breath. Your breath is awesome. Again, I've got a lot of videos because I know this is like a broken record, but it's so just beneficial. It just helps so much with all of this. So feeling your presence and even feeling beyond your body at times, letting your presence expand everywhere you go, taking a breath and doing that. But still going back to this, you can feel into the old and then you can feel into the new. The new is you. You're bringing through your pure source energy. It's new to the planet, right? This new way of living and being, and really we're bringing new energy here. So you feel into that old emotional stuff. Okay. Do I want to put my awareness over there? No. How about I put it into my essence, my light beingness? So this is one way to kind of flex this muscle. And I used to say, like, I toggled back and forth a lot. I would toggle. Why? Because you become really clear what's you and what's not you. Oh, this isn't me. This is old energy. It's old emotion. Oh, this is me. Oh, that's not me. Ah, this is me. So, and I spent a huge, tremendous, probably ridiculous amount of time doing that, feeling my presence, feeling my essence. And sometimes in the old days, I mean, it would be hours. Sometimes it would take me days to clear out from stuff when I got discombobulated. And I would literally lay in bed like all day, every day, get up, have a little drink of water, go to the bathroom, have a snack, and go lay down and keep feeling my presence until it expanded and expanded and expanded. And again, that brings you through clearing cycles, but coming to a point where at times, you just feel like a radiant star, like pure light. Now, that feels a lot better than emotion. I can tell you that 100%. So, toggling, feeling you and feeling what's not you, feeling what's you, feeling what's not you, and then flexing that muscle and gravitating towards feeling you, expanding into you. So that's one one thing you can do. Now, as you do this, what's going to happen is, again, where you place your consciousness grows, it expands. So you're going to feel your presence growing and expanding. You're going to feel more radiant. You're going to feel lighter. At times, you might feel more confined because you're expanding beyond this old energy. You know, there's times where you feel very confined as you're about to expand, but overall, you feel better and better and better and lighter and lighter and lighter. You know, beyond these little waves, it's like lighter and lighter. So next comes like, what do we do? How do we step into this new? Because you're feeling your presence, it's growing and growing and growing. And what's going to happen is your passion, because you do have passion, you have joy, you have exuberance that is not emotional. You're going to feel that growing and growing and growing. Even if you're like me and you sit around all day feeling your presence, which, you know, obviously we didn't come here to sit and feel our spirit form all day. We have bodies for a reason. But you're going to start feeling like, oh my gosh, maybe you already have inspiration, maybe new inspiration will come. You'll start feeling more passion, like there must be something else. And I guarantee there's probably a whole bunch of stuff that you already like, that you like to do, that has called to you, that the cloudiness has sort of fogged over. So this is where the rubber meets the road, because you can clear energy all day long. You can sit around and manifest in the other realms and higher realms and look at the other timelines and all this stuff that is very ethereal and very energetic. But where the rubber meets the road is here in the physical. So you come to a point where you feel like it's time for change in your life. And the thing I will highly recommend is for you to take action and make that change. Start taking little steps. This for me was something where for years I worked very little, and I feeling my presence a lot and just being in this isness. And things did come right to my door, like my phone ringing one day. Hey, Kathy, we got your number. We need a new yoga teacher at the community center. Oh my God, my last job ended yesterday. I could feel something was coming. So things will just come to you, but keep in mind, you're on a planet with 7 billion people, and everyone else is a piece of the puzzle, and they have to take actions and things for stuff like that to happen. For things to come to your door, it has to physically happen, and somebody has to do it. So, you know, a lot of people aren't listening. A lot of people aren't, they're in their old patterns and their old habits and the old energy, not moving forward. And so you can either wait for everyone else and sit around forever, or you can step up and be one of the trailblazers, one of the creators that starts creating new stuff. And then you can be the one calling people saying, hey, you want to join me? I have an opportunity for you, right? So I highly recommend that you start taking little action steps once you are in this space. You've looked at the old, you know there's something new, there's got to be more. What if you're like I was for years and you're like, well, I know I'm going to do something awesome here, but like, what the heck is it? Now, first I will say deep down, the work I'm doing, I've always known I'm going to do this. I've known it. But that little voice, the ego, the survival, it's built to survive itself. It's built to keep you small so it can be, you know, the one in charge. And so it's going to poo-poo on all your ideas. And even little traps like, oh, well, if I do that, what if I'm listening to my ego? Or one of my favorite ones that I had was, well, if I'm going to do this work, then I need to be 100% fully embodied, integrated, having no self left, absolutely nothing, because I want to be the best, you know, facilitator I can be. All right, well, guess what? It really doesn't work like that. It's important to take little steps and take the little opportunities along the way. In fact, some of the opportunities that I got, you know, teaching yoga, meditation, breath, caregiving, they brought up things in me that, you know, part of me was like, well, I don't want to work because I can still sense there's this egoic structure here. I don't want to jump into this because I know there's still these old energies dissolving. I can feel them, you know, and I want that all to be gone so I can be, you know, super clear. Well, part of the work that I did over the last few years helped me to help these things to dissolve away. When you're expressing, when you're living your life, when you are wide open, your light is shining so bright, it's dissolving everything. It's things are clearing very quickly. If you fall prey to that little voice that says, oh, you're not ready, or, you know, it's too hard, or what will people think, or blah, 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 whatever. It's more comfortable just to sit here and hide away in my cave. That's one for me. If you fall prey to that voice, and when you do, and you withdraw, you retract, you shut down, you go into your cave, you you close down, what happens is all that old energy sort of starts to, it's almost like it starts to close in on you and become heavier and heavier and heavier. So the way really beyond it is really to keep moving forward and to keep opening and keep expressing. So if you have those little thoughts, like a big one for me was, well, I don't even know what I like to do. So why don't I just sit home and breathe today? Or, whatever. So like last spring, what I did, because I've lived a very simple life. What happens as we go through these clearings, we come into this void space where it's like, you don't have the old interests you used to. You're in a, like, what do I like to do now? There's part of you that knows what you like to do. I sat down and I made a list, huge list of things, and I had to sit down and Google all day. Doing linear tasks, if you're getting more and more expansive, can seem like a lot of work. But again, we have to kind of come back into our bodies, into our minds, and utilize our bodies and minds to take physical steps. So I sat down and I Googled a whole bunch of stuff, state parks, places to go, things to do, and I made a huge list. For some reason, for my ego, that felt like a huge deal. It wasn't. It was super easy. But there's a lot of resistance. This little survival mechanism, the little old stuff that is dissolving away, it's going to try to hook in and latch on and grasp in every way, shape, and form. The really important thing is that you're aware of that, like that you're aware it's going to come in and just try to pull you back to your comfort zone, back to the old, back and not have you move forward. So when you have a clarity, like, this is something I want to do, I really want to do some new things. Obviously, go into the feeling of it. How does it feel? Like for me, what do I don't manifest anything from the mind. I just say, I want to live a life of true joy from the heart. I just really want to live as the purest expression of myself, period. Okay. So that just means I want everything to be of joy, of beauty, of integrity, of honor, of, celebration, embracement. What will I accept in my close physical reality? Well, love. Okay. So, not allowing anything less than true love and honoring. And of course, part of that is accepting other people where they're at times. And sometimes that means saying, no, this really doesn't work for me. So it's kind of a dance. So part of my list was nature, going and doing fun things, going to parks, the zoo, the wildlife sanctuary, the amusement park. We went whitewater rafting, just stuff like that. So I very physically had to sit down and make a list. Why? Because that old energy was dissolving away. And you wake up in the morning, if you're going through that, it's sort of like, I don't feel like doing anything, feels heavy. I felt fear around some of those adventures, like this fear. I remember one day I was like about to schedule the rafting trip, and I was like, is that fear me? Like for a moment, I was like, maybe I shouldn't go. And then I'm like, oh no, that's that little bugger trying to hook in. And I was like, I want to go. This energy is saying, I don't want to go, but that's definitely not me. So once you have your clarity, stick with it. That's the key. Know that the ego is going to come and try to pull you back in every way, shape, and form, not just your mind, but the outside world. So people that you've been in relationships for a while with, that know you a certain way are going to want to pull you back and keep you there, because that's like safe for them. Like, I know who you are and how you act. The world, like any old fears you have, are going to kind of rise up, and they will even sometimes take physical manifestation in people, and it's a gift because they're coming to poke at you. Like, I see you still have this little scab here. I'm going to pick at it and give you the chance to say, oh no, man, I got this. I'm clear. Poof. And then watch how they all disappear from your reality. Watch how people no longer do that. But it'll come up a few times I don't want to say to test you. It's really to show you and for you to be even more integrated within yourself. Like, as it happens, then at the end, you kind of chuckle and you go, oh my God, I remember when I used to fall for that. Right. I remember when I used to like care what other people thought about me, or listen to somebody outside of myself instead of staying 100% in myself, in my own knowing. So when you have that clarity, maybe you want to make some lists, write it down. I'm going to do this. I know this is the right thing to do. And my mind's probably going to come back and, try to convince me otherwise. You're going to have that one day where shit's crazy, right? And so make some little notes, some reminders, something that it can't come over and cloud your knowing, because that's where I'm not a big journaler. I've never been a big writer or journaler or reader or any of that. But I will say that that's how I use my journal, is when there are things that are sticky that I go, oh yeah, how did I fall back into that old habit or that old pattern? Somehow I convinced myself it was good. And I grab my journal. I'm going to make a note here. And you know what? I never go back and read this thing. I never have. I've got maybe 4 notebooks from my whole lifetime, and I never go back and read them. It's like writing it down just further integrates it, but it's there if you've got something tough that you want to go back and be like, oh yeah, I wrote this 100 times. This is no good for me. Why do I keep doing it? Okay. So you have the clarity, you know that your ego is going to come back. It's going to try to hook you in, try to whisper in your ear, try to seduce you, all sorts of funny things. When you know that it's time to move on, stay firm. And that's kind of the last point, is it's like making a huge commitment within yourself for yourself to really live life. And this is where we really start to live life, like our real life. Okay. So if you can feel that, if you feel that passion, it's like, do I want to really live my life? Do I just want to survive and just kind of have this ho-hum and just die one day? Or do I really want to live life and live a real heartfelt life, a real expressive life, a joyful life? There's a big difference in that. So if you choose, I really, really want to live life, and I just know there's more, then stay committed to that. Make even, going back to doing linear things. I spent many, many years out of space and time, letting everything come to me, and everything did. Money, opportunities, jobs, knowing if I just stay present in the now moment, everything will come to me. And it did. But then I went, I just know there's more. Like, oh, I'm actually meant to take action and create something. How cool is that? So take action. That old energy is going to keep pulling at you, keep whispering, keep trying to, trying to pull you back into that comfort zone. You have to physically step out of that comfort zone and create new zones. It's like you create new things to do. It might be new relationships, it might be a new job, it might be just new activities, whether it's being active, going walking, doing some yoga, singing, dancing, even making a schedule for yourself to do that at home. That's something I've had to do, is make a schedule, or I just float around all day. So I've had to write down a schedule for myself now. I'm sure someday I will expand beyond that, but until all these old patterns and habits kind of break down, until that becomes natural for me, then that's what I'm doing, because I have a ton of stuff to create right now. So I have a schedule. So For example, you know, I started the Shavasana series in August. In August, I fully said I'm going all in on my business. I started it in 2017, walked away. I started it last year. Oh my gosh, this is getting real. I might have to really step up and work hard. And I stepped back again. Now in August, I said I'm in 100%. If you're going to do something, just go in 100%. Going 70% hurts. It sucks. If you say I'm going to do it, commit 100%. It's the most loving thing you can do for yourself. It's going to be the easiest for you. It's going to make it so much easier to glide through the changes, because every time the mind goes, what about this? What about that? This is a lot of work. I don't know. Did I do this? Maybe, oh, this is a good one. Maybe I misread, the energy. Maybe I'm supposed to be off doing that. When you have a fork in the road, do I go this way or that way? And then you go this way. The mind is always going to come back and say, I don't know. I think we should have gone the other way. It's always going to question you. Why? Because each of these forks is almost like, call it an identity. And those identities don't want to die. So if you go this way, and this might even be a new fork that doesn't have an identity, but this old identity is going to come back and say, I'm dying. You're leaving me. I'm scared. No, you're going the wrong way. No, you messed up. Your knowing is all screwed up. You kind of misinterpreted this. So whichever way you choose to go, there's going to be old things that come back and say, nope, you're doing it wrong, doubting yourself, whatever. So stay firm in your knowing, trust yourself. When you have clarity, say, damn it, I know this is true. And guess what? When that questioner comes around, I don't know, did I do the right thing or not? Just tell it this. It doesn't matter, because whatever I choose is perfect. Whichever way I choose to go is going to be perfect. And as long as it's going in a new direction, I know it's really awesome. Okay. And you might see 10 different opportunities and then choose one, and then, oh no, maybe it should have been this one, maybe that one, especially when things get tough, when there's, you're going out of your comfort zone. So 100%, stick with it 100%, be firm in your knowing. Once you choose something, stick with it and see it through. With my Shavasana series, that's what I've committed to. And it's a good thing, because it's been a lot of work, all this equipment and audio, and I just was downloading new software, and there's a whole bunch of behind the scenes work that goes into it, and all new things. And it's been very uncomfortable at times. There's times where I was like, I'm not so sure. Why are we doing this again? Does anybody really care? Is anybody listening? And thank God, number one, when it was brought to me, Yeshua has been my CEO. He says he's my gopher. I think he's my boss, because he's been bringing me this stuff with the suggestions of how to put it out and where to put it and how to put it and how to price it and everything. And it's like I committed to doing it through the end of the year. So thank goodness, because there's a whole bunch of times where I wanted to just kind of give up and be like, nah, whatever. But the other thing is, when those times have come, there's a few times I really sat down and went, are you guys sure, hey team, are you guys sure this is really the right thing? Because now I'm investing in equipment, in audio equipment. It's costing money. There's a lot of time and money and investments going into something that I'm like, are we sure we're going the right direction? And what's happened is, like, the next day I'll get an email or a message from somebody saying how much listening to them has helped them feel better, has accelerated their expansion, blah, blah, blah. So keep asking for help. That's my other thing. Every morning when I wake up, I welcome my team. I say, let's go, guys. Let's kill it. Let's have a great day, because you have non-physical helpers always. And the whole universe, welcome the whole universe, and just ask them to help keep you clear too. They can clear your way, the energies for your day. They're whispering in other people's ears on your behalf and giving you nudges too. So take the help that's there for us all, and stay firm in your knowing. The funny thing is, as you move beyond and beyond and beyond and beyond and keep moving through these, and I will say this kind of expansion stuff happens over and over and over again. I mean, I've seen it so many times now, I'm just like, oh my God. And it's cool because then, you know, it goes from like, oh my goodness, to, oh wow, I've gone through this so many times, I know it like the back of my hand. And what seems so hard to go through, when you're on the other side, you look back and you're like, how did that seem hard? Or you look back and you're like, how did I think that that was good? You know, don't ever beat yourself up. Remember, going back to the first thing, don't ever judge yourself. Just give yourself a high five. Always celebrate how far you've come. And of course, that you know, look where I was. Yeah, let's celebrate. But I will say this, I just want to add that as you keep doing this over and over, it might seem like a lot of work. You know, this whole process of embodiment, at times I have a real lazy streak. I'll admit it. My human has a real lazy streak. At times I was like, this is just too much work. Why are we doing this again? You know, like I could just sit around and breathe all day. But the beauty is when you go beyond those old habits, old patterns, old routines, old scenarios, and you start saying yes to new things, it's like life becomes really beautiful. A whole bunch of adventures, you start meeting beautiful people. You just start, of course, feeling lighter and lighter and lighter, like I was talking about earlier. But it goes even beyond feeling light. There's heart connections. There's beauty that you couldn't ever conceive of before. There's beauty and enjoyment that your mind doesn't know. So let's cut the mind some slack. It's only poo-pooing everything because you've created it in this little structure, these little boxes and this little beliefs and these little tunnel visions. It literally doesn't know. It's kind of scurrying at times, trying to keep itself alive, trying to keep you safe, rearing up, saying, oh no, you don't know what you're doing. But you do, but you just don't know that you know what you're doing. So hopefully that came out and made some sense. All right. Let's see, is there anything else? That's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, truthfully, from the heart, I really hope that this sheds a little light or clarity on going through these quantum leaps, letting all the old collapse and die off, and really, rather than waiting till it's all gone, because you come to a point where you know, it's like you have to just keep stepping into new, not you have to, but if you keep giving energy to that old stuff, it's like it's feeding it and it's giving it life. And you get clearer and clearer on how, if you have addressed it and you're aware of it, you can just start moving into new and expanding. And you expand, we'll say lighter and brighter, to where that stuff just dissolves away so fast that your mind can't even believe it. And there's a lot of beauty in it and a lot of ease. So it can just make your journey easier. The important thing is to stay out of judgment. Never, ever, ever, ever judge yourself, okay? Don't do it. Don't judge yourself, and don't judge the outside world. Because if you're pointing fingers at the outside world, like, this is right, this is wrong, they should this, they shouldn't that, people bug me, this annoys me, that bothers me. I hate to break it to you, but that's a reflection of what you're doing to yourself. And it's all judgment, and it creates density in your body, in your mind, in your world. And then you don't get to enjoy your life as much as you can. And why not fully enjoy ourselves? All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy your quantum leaping. Do it with ease and grace, and keep moving forward. Stay firm in your knowing and keep moving forward. Don't look back. Just tell those old voices, I know you guys. Nope, 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 nope. Bye-bye. You can go now. I'm going into new. I know where I'm going. You just don't know. All right. Thank you so much. Namaste.